Greetings, people. What's going on? Been a while. Um, I just wanted to share something with you guys in regards to the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, where they redefined the term Indian, and that's where a lot of um, our identity was stolen, and we were thrown off our lands. You know what I'm saying? Reclassified as blacks and all these things. Um, I find it interesting because within this section here, it talks about Eskimos being also called Indians or redefined as Indians. Hence why many of these reservations have the Eskimo phenotype looking people, right? It's because of this act why a lot of the original people of the land lost their identity, right? Because what happened is that the federal government wanted to create their own tribes so they could have jurisdiction over over those tribes, and if you're not a part of those tribes, then you wouldn't be considered what is called an Indian in their terms. But what they did was redefine the term Indian, right? And they removed the original meaning. Okay, so right here, Section 19, it talks about the term Indian as used in this act shall include all persons of Indian descent who are members of any reorganized. So I want you to, not reorganized, recognized Indian tribe, no under, no, pay attention to this, no under. So before it was, the tribes weren't under federal jurisdiction, so they had to create this act so they could have control over the lands, so they could, you know, take the lands from the original people of the land and give create what is called a reservation under federal jurisdiction, right? So the whole point is if you're not um, identifying as an Indian in terms of being not taxed, because the term not taxed is actually a status, right? So if you're not defining yourself as not taxed, then you'll be assumed or presumed to be under the federal jurisdiction. Okay, so I know all persons who are descendants of such members who were on June 1st, 1934, residing within the present boundaries of any reservation, and shall further include all other persons of one half or more Indian blood. So that's where the eugenesis program came in with Walter Plicker, because if this happened at the same time around 1924, that era, where they do the reorganization and they redefine what an Indian is in their eugenesis terms, okay? So they could steal the land from you and steal your identity and reclassify you as lost at sea, have no rights, have no bloodline, have no history, okay? In other words, they see you as a monkey, okay? For the purposes of this act, Eskimos, right, and other, so look, you say Eskimos. Before, Eskimos weren't considered Indians, okay? It's after this act they were considered Indians. And the other aboriginal peoples of Alaska shall be considered Indians. Remember, before that, an Eskimo was never considered an Indian, because the original term Indian meant aboriginals of North America are people who have affiliated with um, original people of the Americas, holistic, meaning the entire Americas, okay? Where you call the West Indies, that's America as well, right? Shall be considered Indians. The term tribe, wherever used in this act, shall be construed to refer to any Indian tribe, organized band, pueblo, okay, so are the Indians residing on one reservation. The words adult Indians, wherever used in this act, shall construed to refer to Indians who have attained the age of 21 years. So I just want to bring this to your attention so you could. So it's 25 USC 5129. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention so you could see where they removed the original definition and replaced it with this definition. Okay, so the proper term legally is Indian. Okay, but it's, for us it would be Indians not taxed, meaning we are not considered under federal jurisdiction. Okay, and that's where the old recognized tribe Secretary of Interior came from. Okay, because they get to define what an Indian is in their eugenesis terms, blood quantum and all these eugenesis terms. Okay, so I just want you to go ahead, go online, Google it. Act of June 18, 1934, Indian Reorganization Act. So they reorganized the definition and the land, everything. Okay, and that's where you got duped. All right, so peace out.